Hello friends, welcome to Rubik's Automate Academy. Today you will be learning how to control the execution of a loop. I have divided today's video into two parts, meaning I will teach you one half of how to control the execution in this video and the other half is going to be in the next video. If you do not want to miss that video or any of my future videos, then please subscribe and click on the bell icon so you can get the update of when I upload those videos. If you have a question, then please feel free to tell me in the comments or contact me. If you want to stay in contact with me, then you can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter or Facebook, and you will find all of the details at the end of the video or on my channel. If you don't understand something, then you will find all the links related to that in the description box down below. And without wasting any much time, let's get started. There are four different ways to control the execution of a loop. The first way is the break statement, second way is the continue statement, third way is the pass clause, and lastly else statement. In today's video, I will only show you break statement and continue statement. Life is often about exceptions to the rule. For example, you might want an assembly line to produce a number of clocks. Let's say at some point the assembly line runs out of a needed part, and if that part isn't available, the assembly line must stop in the middle of the construction. Though the count hasn't completed, still the line must be stopped until the missing part is restocked. So if you take this same example and write it out in Python, it would look like: first, you create a loop that runs 10 times, for example, and the loop produces 10 clocks. But you then want to make sure that if a part is out of stock during the process, the loop must stop or break out of the loop. So you can put a condition inside the loop saying if a part is out of stock, then break out of the loop. The if statement will be checked every time the loop runs. But to make breaking out of the loop possible, the break clause can be used. However, you don't simply place the break clause in your code, you surround it with an if statement that defines the condition for issuing a break. The statement might say something like, if a part is missing, then break out of the loop. Now I will show you how to use the break clause. First, I will explain the scenario, then I will show you how to do it. First of all, if you watched part 1 of loops, then you might remember this example, and also you might remember what this code does. If you don't remember, then please rewatch that video. You will find the link in the description box down below. Moving on, we will just add more to this code. So basically, we will ask user to enter any word that is less than a certain number of characters. Next, we will put a condition inside this loop to check if the word is greater than a certain number of characters, and if it's true, then break out of the loop. But before that, give the user a message telling them why the process stopped. Moving on, over here I will just add more to this. So I will say please enter any word that is less than or equal to 6 characters. Then after all of this, you will add a condition according to the scenario that I just explained to you. So here we will say if letter num, the letter num is the length of the string, is greater than 6, then we will print the word entered by you is greater than 6 characters. Then we will use the break keyword to break out of the loop. So now we will run this and check if it's working or not. I will show you two scenarios. First is if they enter the correct value. So see, we don't get the error message. The loop runs correctly and perfectly without any error. And now let's say if they type any word that is longer than 6 characters like this, we get the error message after 6 letters of the string is processed. Sometimes you want to check every element in a sequence because you might not want to process certain elements. For example, you might decide that you want to process all the information for every car in a database except brown cars. Perhaps you simply don't need the information about that particular color of the car. as you just learned that the break clause simply ends the loop. So you can use it in this particular situation. Otherwise, you won't see the remaining elements in the sequence. The break clause alternative that many developers use is the continue clause. As with the break clause, the continue clause also appears as part of an if statement. Basically, the continue statement can be used when you want to skip something during a loop that is running. Now I will show you how to use the continue clause. If you notice here, this is the same code that I showed you earlier in the video with a break statement. But now you will use the continue clause instead, so you can understand the difference between a break statement and a continue statement. So the scenario is, before we print this sentence, as you see here, we will add a condition to check if the letter that is currently being processed is E, for example, then skip that letter, meaning don't print it. This can be possible with the help of a continue statement. You can use any letter instead of E. I just give you an example. So over here, we just have to simply enter any word because we are looking for specific letters only. According to the scenario that I explained to you, you will add an if statement before these two lines of code. I will tell you the reason when we run this code. So moving on, we will say if letter equals E or any letter you would like. You can say W, you can say A, anything. We will just type continue. Now I will run it to check if everything is working or not. So first we'll enter a word that has E. So we will say hello. And as you see, the letter E is not processed. But if we say a word like Python, where see E is not used, then all the letters will be processed. The reason we put the if condition before this print statement is every time this loop runs, the value of letter changes unless there are two same letters together. Moving on, the value of letter changes, so we want Python to check if that letter is equal to E or not before we allow it to print the letter. And if the letter is E, then skip it, or if the letter is not E, then you are allowed to print it. And always remember that if the condition is true, so this is the condition, if that's true, the continue statement will be executed and you will never see this string printed because the continue clause ends the current loop iteration immediately and a new iteration will be started.